So love, wake up, wake up.
Hello, queens and kings. We are back with another video coming with you today. Again, my name is Kesey Collins.
Jaslyn Fuller.
Jared Jackson.
Alright, I'm so excited. I have some really dope people here with me today. I'm excited about the conversation. As you can see below what we're talking about, and they're actually going to find out right now. I want to make sure this is as authentic as possible. Alright, so we're going to just jump right into the conversation and see their feedback and kind of bounce off of each other. Alright, so the topic for today is going to be about what's your definition of value, or what defines your value. Go ahead.
Well, value in reality it's a thing of completion. It's, on value side, you can't have too much temporary, you can't have too much permanent, if you understand what I'm saying. Because if you have too much temporary, things don't exist, the value don't exist.
Right. Okay. So do you feel like we're born with the value, or our value grows or can decrease and be modified throughout our life?
In perception, in perception and temporary perception, in our heads, it can go forward or go backwards.
Right.
But that's according to us. Our
Right.
life. But in reality, it's up to us. Are you actually going to move forward, move backward, or are you going to stay still? In my opinion, you always do have value.
I think in terms of values, I think that most of them are influenced on us by culture, or even by our immediate environment. And so, like, the values that we have in our culture, they're probably, we're conditioned by the media maybe, or by our family members.
Right.
But I think at the end of the day, when you come to knowing who you are, you start to understand what your true values are.
Right. True value. Or they might have some anger towards their dad or mom or whoever in their family because somebody did something to them. So you know what I'm saying, or took something away from them that they could never get back. And because of that, they feel like they don't have a value, or at least in their mind, there's nothing for them to live for because someone already took that away from them at an early age. So how do y'all feel about that?
About basically repression, right? Just repressing things from. How I feel about it is that even from my experience, repression can equal a lot of physical side effects. And when I say physical side effects, they call it disorder. That's why I call it disorder.
Right.
It's just basically us holding everything in, all that energy we carry as organic thing. We begin to destroy ourselves by repressing everything and repressing that value.
Right.
And repressing
So you think it's a personal thing?
It starts out as a personal thing because we're so in our heads about who we are, especially in the beginning, like we don't know who we are.
Right.
So we question everything.
I'm gonna answer your question just based off of like my personal experience. I'm gonna just say in terms of like being queer or lesbian, like in terms of discovering who I was, like me valuing what God's source was, or what spirituality was based on a lot of what my parents had taught me, in terms of, being a Christian, and how that conflicted with, usually sexuality is conflicted with traditional Christianity. So in that, me trying to kind of find myself and know God for myself, I had to kind of I kind of lost myself in a sense because I didn't know who I was, because I was trying to shape this perception of who I was based on what my family thought. Right. And so I speak of that because that also goes back to values. Like, what do I value when it comes to spirituality? Am I valuing the values that my parents are valuing, or am I creating those values for myself? Right. So I'm trying to go back to sometimes you do have to lose your values, the ones that were placed onto you, and kind of create your own based on who you are.
From my own personal experience, I would just say it's important to have that spiritual relationship versus religion. Religion is tradition. Religion is what we've been raised up with. We don't know what's right or wrong, and we can go into philosophy of what's really true and what's false, and how do you find out what's true through falsification, through testing, all these things. Just because the sun came up today don't mean it has to come up tomorrow, because it don't have to, you feel me? Is that true or false, right? So it all depends on that spiritual relationship. I feel like when you do have that spiritual relationship and you're in tune, you have discernment like you're supposed to, the spiritual realm and the carnal realm always works together, and they'll always tell you before time, you know what I'm saying, when something's happening or what you need to do. And depending on what you do, you'll begin to have confirmation or whether this the right thing or the wrong thing. But that's up to God or whoever y'all want to believe in, you know what I'm saying, to deal with you with that. Long as you have some type of spiritual relationship and it's genuine and you really want to do what's right, you will get your answer.
In terms of labels, sometimes I feel like labels divide us in a sense, but I think there's two sides to that equation. Like when you do label yourself, I think that we have to understand that if we are labeling ourselves, we have to start accepting each other in those labels.
Yeah, regardless of your, you know what I'm saying, your denomination. It's all about love in Muslim. It's all about love. Christianity, it's all about love. If you're going to be in the image of God, He's about love. Do not throw no stone unless, you know what I'm saying, there's nothing that you have done wrong. If you have, I don't care what it is, lying, stealing, adultery, it doesn't matter. We're born into sin, you know what I'm saying? So just love. Like I said, it's about that spiritual relationship. Make sure you're right. Don't look at nobody's speck in their eyes. Pull the speck out of your eyes first, and then, you know what I'm saying, maybe you'll have something to say. But you'll never pull all the specks out. Because at the end of the day, we are in a sinful world. We are in the carnal world. There will always be sin, regardless of how much we don't want it. And that's why acceptance is a big thing. And we can go back to value. That's why that value is important. Because when you have value in yourself, you're not worrying about what's going on with everybody else, whether you agree with it or not. Regardless if I didn't like gay people, regardless if I didn't like Muslim, it doesn't matter. Because I'm comfortable with who I am. So guess what? You can be who you are. Things that are said to me, the labels that are forced upon me, no longer matter because I have my own value within myself. And that's what's most important. You didn't have no income coming in, you're at a low point, you lost your car, you lost your family or whatever, and you still able to find some type of hope or happiness within yourself. That's how you know you have some type of value within yourself. Because we both know those things are temporary.
Exactly. The value will hold you up and be your foundation, because in reality, what's the low point? What's the high point? The high point is your goal. The low point is your network.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? You're just the person in the middle trying to realize what you need to do. That's it.
And then I think like in that, when we keep speaking of value, I think you can't forget like soul in that. Because like when you rip all these labels, all these things all that off, you're a soul, you're a spiritual being, you know? And so when you start to realize that and start asking yourself, wow, like, who am I? Like, what do I believe? Well, why am I here? You know? And then that you start to realize, oh, the things that intuitively come up for you on a soul level is where your values come in and who you are, and that's when you start understanding why you're here and start walking in that purpose.
The things that we see, and we tend to take our value based off of those things versus your true self. Because once those levels are gone, who are you?
Exactly. You realize you never.
Once your home is gone, who are you? What do you have left? Are you really happy? Do you know who you are?
Exactly.
Do you have that true value? Do you know what true value is?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You live with all these questions.
Exactly. I got my, like me, I'm still my most happiest without money. That's why I do my best in giving, because without money.
What advice would you give someone who wants to get out of that mindset and be able to grow that consciousness?
Well, yeah, I'll touch on that. I'm always like battling between the nature versus nurture.
Yeah.
But on this one, I'm gonna just like go with the whole nurture aspect in reference to what you was talking about, like maybe the example of a gang member who is like sucked into this whole culture of just like poverty, violence, drugs, and all that, right? You know, a lot of it is the environment, right? The environment shapes your mind because a lot of things are learned behavior. The thing is, because it's learned behavior, you're receiving all this stimuli from people around you.
Right.
So, but in order to really, I feel like really get into who you are, sometimes you have to shut all that out And it may take sacrifice for you to do that, and you have to do whatever you have to do to remove yourself
It's
from
worth it,
that
though.
stimuli, from those
It's worth
people, from that environment. Why am I here? What do I really want? What makes me happy? You know, you have to
Yeah.
kind of seclude yourself and cut all that off. And I know that can be hard, but that's what it takes, because you can create your reality.
Yeah.
So once you get to that moment where you really with yourself, for yourself, you can create who you are now.
I think that's one of the biggest factors that's like really hindering people in general, because they're not willing to sacrifice who they are for who they want to be, because they can't even see what they want to be, you know? They're stuck in those mentalities, or they're so scared to be alone, and they don't want to be alone, and we don't want to be alone because we're human. It's fine to feel like that, but you gotta have some type of hunger inside you to say, I'm tired of going through this. I'm tired of living like this. I'm not doing it no more. It's not worth it. I be telling people all the time, you know what I'm saying, that come to me with different issues. Don't make yourself suffer 50 years for the rest of your life versus really crying, breaking down, surrendering, boo-hooing. Right there, spend a day, 2 weeks, a month. But don't spend 50 years when you don't have to. Break it down. You can do that. It's possible.
And I think acceptance is in that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
You gotta
that's,
accept where you came from.
Mhm.
You gotta accept what you went through.
Mhm. Yep. Yes.
And once you do that, you're able to grow past that. Yeah.
Yep.
Know who you are, awareness, you know, is the thing of the soul. That's why.
Man, he's so cool. Look at him. That's why.
I mean,
I know. I'm telling you, I love it.
but yes, the thing of the soul is, if you don't know who you are, it's hard to be present in that moment. You know what I'm saying? Because you're thinking about the future, you think about the past. You're thinking about, oh, what do I see in front of me? You think, oh, what did I do? Yeah, because if you keep going back and forth, you won't be on one side. You know what I'm saying? And the best advice I would say I give somebody trying to get out of that cycle is be conscious that you are observing that other people aren't aware.
Say it again.
I know what
Say
that
it
is.
again for the people in the back.
Say it again for me.
Be conscious that you are observing that other people aren't aware. And what I mean by that is feel around in your environment that you are seeing people who they call aren't woke, aren't there, or aren't actually aware of the fact that they need to know themselves.
Right.
If they don't feel the need to know themselves, they won't ever want to. And they need to have an intention. And the way you develop that intention, basically, you gotta know you observe people. You gotta know you observe the things that don't exist. That's how you be able to pick apart the things that do.
What's you guys' difference between intuition and consciousness? That's a good one,
I
right?
never thought about that one.
Your correlation.
It just came to me like,
When you first, let me get present.
Right, put it in.
When you first said it, I kind of don't think it's a difference between intuition and consciousness. And you watching me think through this.
No, because
But
I'm
that's
thinking
the
too.
first-
Like I said it by myself. Like I'm really like thinking like, yo, what really can that? You know what I'm saying? Is there a difference? Are they the same?
Intuition, and I can tell you intuition is always grouped with, like I said, perception. It's grouped with the third eye. And the third eye, what they think of it and know of it is, it's the one thing that helps us definitely see, is this a feeling or an emotion? Are we feeling something that is in the environment,
Right.
or is this something from within us that we are guilty or shameful of?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then in reality, how it goes, like how you identify them two, they're not really different. I would say this both. They're not different. They're the same in reality,
Yeah.
but how it feels inside is a difference, because there's different realities you have to deal with other people, and that's what makes it feel different. And that's where the consciousness comes in, because remember, consciousness is feelings. That's why it feels different. Intuition feels different for different people. Some people off bat can just catch it. They'll catch the truth.
It's about the perception.
Exactly. It's about the perception when it comes to intuition.
Intuition, but consciousness.
Feelings, straight feelings.
See, and as you were talking, you kind of like ignited some things out of me. But so when I think of intuition and okay, if you think of consciousness, like consciousness, I feel like consciousness is in everything. And the thing is, you can tap into that consciousness, and that's what becoming aware is.
Right.
And I think that when you're tapped into the collective consciousness, which we all have access to,
Right.
then we become intuitive. So that's why I said it's kind of like the same thing, but I feel like you become intuitive when you're like tapped into a different like frequency or another level of something. I think consciousness and true value is important because we were all put here for a reason. Everybody, you, me, you, y'all out there, we were all put here for a reason. We have to find out what that reason is.
Right.
And once we find out what that reason is, that's essentially what your true value is, because your true value is what you live in, is who you are and what you could give to the world.
Which is your purpose.
Exactly, which is your purpose. And I think once people become aware of that, then they start to feel purposeful in life, you know, and start living on purpose, living according to their truth, their value, their soul, who they are, and who God placed them here to be, you know. And so that's why I think like just consciousness, just awareness in general, is the whole. I think the whole reason consciousness and knowledge is important is because it helps you understand who you are, really, who you are, and I think that's the most important thing, and that's how you get to true value and understanding your purpose and why you work.
I'm realizing who I am constantly. I'm constantly learning new things about myself, constantly asking myself questions, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I live by. I live by like my life philosophy is just become the highest version of yourself. The highest version of yourself.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into the video. Definitely got a lot out of it. Hope you guys got something out of it too. Spread love, spread positivity, plant those seeds, man, because that's the only way. That's the only way we're gonna make it. Any final words, guys?
Be as permanent as you definitely can. And what I mean by be permanent, be here and be present and be realistic. When you're realistic, your perceptions will make sense.
Okay.
I would just say you are here for a reason. You are here for a reason and you have a purpose. You have to find that purpose.
Go find it.
Live on purpose.
Oh, yeah. Alright, guys. Peace, love, and happiness. And I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much.